So I'm not fully dressed, but I just wanted to show you. Remember the little black two-piece set that I had on my Shein haul? I just wanted to show you how I dressed it up. I just put this cardigan over it, and I just tied it up. Tied it up right here. So yeah. Hello guys, welcome back to another vlog. Today I'm going to be doing a Sunday reset, monthly reset. But first we're gonna go run a few errands and things like that. And when we get back home, we will go over our March recap. We will go over what goals we accomplished, what goals we didn't. And also I will share you guys with my April goals. So I will see you guys in a little bit. So how's everybody's Sunday going? By the time you see this video, it will be Tuesday, but I want to know how you guys' weekend was. Do anything fun? How's the weather? Weather is beautiful. It's like 80 degrees today. Currently at the gas station. My brother is pumping some gas in the car right now.
He's not your brother, he's my uncle.
He is your uncle, but if he's your uncle, that means he's what? My brother.
I wish y'all have a brother.
Anyways, what's on the agenda today? I'm gonna take her to a park that we haven't been to yet, and then I do want to go to Trader Joe's, see what some snacks I can have for work, some things for work this week. Also, we got to go to Walmart, and I need to find her some like little sandals for the summer, or like for right now on these good days. And then of course when we get home we'll do our goals and things like that. So that is all that's on the agenda. I know I started the vlog, but I didn't give all the details because I was in a rush at the house, but I wanted to just finish starting off this vlog. Hope you enjoy it. If you do, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. It costs you nothing. But anyways, I will talk to you guys when we get to the park. All right, we made it to the park. We never been to this one. I was just like, let me try. I want to start trying out some new parks because you guys all know we moved here to New Mexico last year. So I kind of like found a couple parks that but those are the parks we go to like all the time. Wait, baby. So I wanted to check out some other parks. And this park has a really great walking that goes around it, so I could also get my steps in, get my little workout in. Also, I don't really have on good walking shoes, but we gonna do what it do today. But I just, baby girl, come on, here you go. Get down. That's not for you to swing. Right here. Can you spell your name?
I.
Good job. Alright, so I'm trying to find a plant for my office.
Mama, this one told me.
Let's see. I want something light. I want some plants for the house too, but we'll get those in a little bit. Let's see what they have. Let's see. Oh, those flowers are cute. Liam, get the cart back to Uncle. These are so cute. These little water cans for kids. Look at those.
I want this.
The little unicorn. That one's kind of bent up.
I want this.
But we already have a water can, baby. Remember, it came in your garden set. All right, let's see.
Let's find the flowers first. Oh, no. Yeah.
Yes, baby.
Look, there's a chili.
The chili peppers.
Yep. I already know.
And the regular hot peppers.
And
some Brussels sprouts.
Mommy,
Mommy,
I almost fell asleep.
all right, so just got home from running a few errands. I want to show you guys what I got from Walmart and Trader Joe's real quick. So the main reason why I went to Walmart is because I just wanted to get my daughter some sandals. Because you know the weather is really nice. Today it's like 80 degrees, and I just wanted to get her a couple of sandals to hold her for the first part of the spring and summer. I did get her some pink Crocs that she's going to be getting her Easter basket, but I wanted to get her some stuff for now and to just add. So the first pair I got is these little mermaid ones. These are all from Walmart. Great price. This was only $8.48. These are a size 9-10, but I just thought the little seashells, these are cute. These are just up her alley, and they're mermaid. So something that she can just wear to the park, things like that. Just some fun little sandals. And then I got her like some everyday type sandals. She wears a lot of this color. Plus, it's kind of can go with other things, not just yellow. But these were also a great price. These are a size 10. These were only $9.98. But I just thought these were cute. And you guys know that I am loving those little flower prints. But yeah, and these are kind of like jelly style. But these are like so soft in the inside. So soft. She's going to love that. Also, I wanted to get a plant for my office at work. I was like, oh, I want to get some greenery in here. I don't really have a good green thumb, especially at home, but for some reason, every time I get a plant at work, it thrives. So I got this one. Something small, something simple, but something I can just take care and have my plant baby at inside my office. And then I am going to be making like some nachos. So I just wanted some salsa. So I got this. This is I haven't had this kind of salsa, this particular brand, but this is a 505 Southwestern, non-GMO, gluten-free, and also vegan. And got medium, and I love thick and chunky salsa. So I got this for our nachos that I'm going to be making. But let me show you guys what I got from Trader Joe's. All right, so I really went to Trader Joe's just for like some things for my lunches this week, and also like some little healthier type snacks to have at work. So let me show you what I got. So first thing first, I got these cookies and cream pretzel slims. This is just something that I can have at my desk, and I can just, if I want a snack and something, I can do that. Also I got I love these, so I got this for lunch. Also I got these buffalo style chicken poppers. I haven't had these from Trader Joe's yet, so hopefully they taste good. Over here I just got some vegetable fried rice. A lot of the hamburger meat that I have left over, I'm gonna use this to put inside this and make like a rice bowl for lunch. So that's that. Also got some Brussels sprouts. I got this super spinach salad. This is vegan. So yeah, I just wanted something to have for lunches. So this is a carrot ginger dressing. Never had this one in particular before, but I'm excited to try it. And then these buffalo style chicken wraps. Also, I love these little fruit bars, so I just got a few of these in different flavors. So I got, my daughter wanted one too, so I got 2 of the apple mangoes, and I got 1 of the apple bananas. And then this is a dried fruit bar. This is just apple raspberry. So just needed some little healthy snacks also for my lunches. So that is it for my hauls. And now we are about to sit down and do our little monthly reset. Okay guys, let's get into this reset. For all of my resets, I'm going to be doing a recap of the following month. What went well, what didn't well, what goals we did, things like that. So let's get into March recap. Overall, March was a great month for me. I got the downtime that I needed. I got the rest that I needed. If you guys don't know yet, in February 17th actually was my last day from my previous job. I had put in my notice that I was quitting. I just felt like I was just feeling really overwhelmed. So yes, I was feeling very overwhelmed, and that overwhelm was for a lot of different reasons. Some of the reasons was because I was just very unhappy with my job. My job was pretty much very demanding. They needed my attention pretty much 24/7. So it wasn't no set, you go to work from this time, you get off this time. I was sometimes working throughout the night. I was working on my weekends. And at this time in my life, I need something more with work-life balance. I need something that I can give my daughter all of my attention, especially since she's at school and after school, or daycare after school. And I already feel guilty that I have to drop her off. Luckily, she's in school now, so I know she needs her education now. She's in preschool, but she's in school all day, and then she even stay after school in the after school program until I get off of work. But usually a lot of times I try to go pick her up right after school and then bring her home if my husband or my brother is at home, so she won't have to go to the after school program. But on the days that all of us is at work, she does have to go to the after school program. So on those days, I just felt really bad just leaving her there for a lot of part of the day, and I just wanted more time, especially for a job that I feel like it wasn't worth it, right? And then I told you guys about a family emergency, medical emergency that I had. And when I came back from that medical emergency, at that moment, I kind of knew that this job was not for me. I was still trying to give it a chance because I do not like to quit. I wanted to give it a chance, but unfortunately, the days there just got worse, and I just knew that it just wasn't for me, especially all the things that I went through. I wasn't going to share this, but I guess I'll go ahead and share it because I don't know what my next journey going to be far as in this situation. So if I do, whatever my next journey is, I do plan on bringing you guys along that journey. So I might as well just tell you guys what I was going through. January 4th, I ended up having another miscarriage. That was my second miscarriage in 6 months. I had one back in September that I was at 11 weeks and 4 days. And then this miscarriage came when I was 10 weeks and 2 days. So this one, the second one, really hurt me. It happened January 4th. It was right before my daughter's birthday vacation. So this birthday vacation was already planned. I had to, pull everything together and make stuff happen for my daughter that I do have here. So we still ended up going on Hawaii, and I thought that me going to Hawaii, not saying it was at the right time, but this was like a week before our vacation. I thought when I came back from this vacation, I might be feeling better. So I did take off of work that week that it happened, and then I already had my vacation for that following week scheduled. So it ended up being 2 weeks, but the way they were acting like during that time, like, when are you coming back? It was just, I don't know. I just didn't feel supported during that time. And I understand a lot of people don't understand how to deal with losses, especially if you didn't have a baby. but I just felt like, oh, you had a miscarriage. Okay, when you coming back to work, you know? And that kind of hurt me a little bit, especially when I was already unhappy with the job. I was already feeling like not liking the people that I work with. It was just a lot of things that was going on. But anyways, I feel like I'm rambling a long time on that. But anyways, so luckily, I was doing interviews. This is the first time I have ever quit a job before securing a job. I always make sure I secure a job before I quit, but I was just, that's how unhappy I was there. That's how much stress I was under. That's how much I didn't give a care. I was like, I don't even care. I don't even have a job. Like, I already knew that I would be good, and I already knew that I wanted to take a month off, because usually when you put your 2 weeks notice in, you get the other job that you're going to start in 2 weeks. So I knew I didn't want to go from that job to the next job. I wanted time off. I knew that I wanted to go back to work in the middle of March. That's what I kept telling myself, like, I need to get a job before the middle of March. I want to start. But then I forgot about my daughter's spring break. So I actually secured my job exactly when I wanted to secure the job. But I said that I would start in 3 weeks because I wanted to be home with my daughter during her spring break. So while I'm talking about those things and securing a job and goals, let's get started with our goals for March and see what we did accomplish. So my first goal for March was read 30 minutes a day, at least 5 times a week. Did I reach that goal? I did not. So the month started out well. I was reading every day, but around the time that I went on we took the flight to Seattle and did the road trip back. When we came back, I never picked up that book again. So I haven't read that book since then. So I didn't even finish my March book, and I did not finish my 30 minutes a day. It's 5 times a week. But the beginning of the month, I did good for about the first 10 days of the month, and then it went downhill. So the next goal was a 20-minute physical activity at least 3 times a week. I am proud of myself. I did accomplish that goal. That 20-minute physical activity could be walking, anything, and I did that. So especially when the weather is nice, it's easier to accomplish those types of goals. My third goal was secure a job, which we've been talking about a lot. I did do that, which I am so proud of myself, and I will get into more details of that in a minute. The next goal was be consistent on YouTube. I wanted to stay on schedule and post every week on Tuesdays and most Saturdays. I will say I'm gonna give that go. I'm gonna give that one to me. I'm gonna say I did that. Only problem was this week I didn't post on Tuesday. Ended up posting that video on Wednesday because Monday and things, I had started a new job, so I gave myself a day. Okay, so I'm gonna say I accomplished that, and I actually posted every Saturday and Tuesday, so I did that. I'm gonna check that I did that. The next goal was to do a weekly challenge, post new videos 7 days straight. Unfortunately, I was not able to accomplish that goal. I started some weeks posting 2 or 3 videos in a row, but then it slacked off. So it is what it is. My last goal for March was give myself more grace, which I feel like I gave myself a lot of grace. So I'm also gonna check that off. Well, that was like not a goal, that was more of like my theme for the month. My phrase for the month is give myself more grace. So I feel like I really did that. I accomplished a lot of the goals that I wanted to. I didn't get everything done, but that's totally fine. We got most of the goals completed. I checked out some of those goals. Again, the biggest one was getting a job. So I am very, very happy that we were able to accomplish that goal. So now we are going to get into my April goals. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to break them down in personal goals, YouTube, finance, and then in this reset, I want to do some like tips on interviews or interview questions and how I got into HR, things like that. That will be in this video. But anyways, My personal goals is work out 2 times a week. My job does have a gym that we can use every day if we want, and it is even open on the weekends, and it's open until midnight, 6 to midnight. So I feel like I shouldn't have an excuse, right? This month I'm gonna focus very, very heavy on fitness because I have this gut that I cannot get rid of. Of course, things has been happening which has been making me get more gut, but you know, I really got to get rid of this gut. I really got to take my health serious. I really, like, for me, like, this will make me so happy, and I want to do it for me the right way. So that is a top goal for this month. And also, I want to go on an afternoon walk 3 times a week. Again, this is not going to be included in my workout. This is going to be separate from a workout. So my daughter, she has a scooter, she has a bike, she loves the park. So just maybe letting her go outside after work and school to ride her bike, to ride her scooter, to even walk to the parks, things like that, just to get that little bit of extra exercise in. I know I didn't accomplish this last month, but I'm putting it back on my list for this month. I want to get back to reading. Read 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. So YouTube goals, this month I set my goal to reach 500 subscribers. Right now I am at 479. So we a little 21 subscribers away from reaching 500. So that is going to be my goal for YouTube. And now we're going to get into finance. For my finance goals, of course, I'm not going to be talking about how much money I make or things in that type of nature, breaking down my budget. But I do want to like share like saving goals, or if there's purchases that I want to make or things like that, I will put that in the finance category. So for this month, I want to save $500 each check. So I'll put $500 into my savings account each payday this month. So I think I have 2 paydays this month. So that's the goal. And then also I need to purchase flight tickets for this month. The end of this month, we are going back to my hometown, Dayton, Ohio. My nephew's having his 2nd birthday party, and we would like to go to that. So I need to do that. So that's going to be like finance things. All right. So now I want to dedicate some time to HR, dedicate some time, and for any of you guys that's looking to get into HR or how to get into HR to help with interviews and things like that. So the first thing I want to talk about, being in HR, interviewing lots of people. And I remember I talked about this. Somebody asked this question in one of my interviewing vlogs from last year. They were kind of confused or kind of didn't know why they wasn't getting called back. They went on plenty of interviews and they were not getting an offer letter. And she was just asking about like why that might happen, or to give her some tips like what is she doing wrong in interview. So since I have done plenty of interviews, when I go out for an interview, I don't like to say it in a bad way, but I am very confident in interviews because I interview people a lot, right? I do a lot of interviewing. So since I do a lot of interviewing, it's a little bit more easier for me to not be nervous. And that would be my biggest tip with going out for interviewing, is just confidence, you know, just confidence. That plays a big part in things. Don't try to rehearse everything. Don't try to have all the right answers. I know for me, when I am interviewing people, I like people that bring their personality. It's not always about if they had all the interview questions right, did they answer all of the questions. It's more so a personality, because when I am interviewing people, I'm thinking about their boss. I'm thinking about who they're going to be around. I'm thinking about the team that they're going to be in. Are they going to be a good fit for the team that we already have established? Like, how are they going to fit into our culture? How are they going to fit into our workplace? So it's not always about, it's plenty of times I did interviews, especially like even like professional jobs like engineers, civil engineering, things like that, or accounting, or whatever, managers, supervisors. A lot of times it wasn't because they were the best interviewer, because sometimes people are nervous. Sometimes interviewing is not always everybody's best best thing. So a lot of times I like people that showed a little bit of their personality, people that I was able to just have regular conversations with. And that's one of the biggest tips, where I say confident, because if you're confident, you're not going in there feeling like you're being drilled, right? My thing, when I go do interviews, I make my interviewer person feel comfortable. Like like a lot of my interviews that I went on just now, a lot of times we were just talking about just regular things, like half of our interview we were just having regular conversations, and then they would have to, oh, let me ask you this question, but I made them feel comfortable to talk about other things and blah blah blah. So it wasn't straight like they were drilling me, because I just asked like, oh, how's your day, or blah blah blah. And then for one of my person that interviewed me, she actually was from New Mexico, but she had just moved to Vancouver, Washington. And when she called me, she was like, oh, my time is a little bit different because I'm in Vancouver, so I'm an hour behind you guys. And I was just like, oh, I'm from Washington, and I moved to New Mexico. And it's funny because I moved to New Mexico at the end of April, and she moved to Washington, where I'm from, in June. So it was like we barely crossed paths. So we spent like 10 minutes just talking about how she's like in Washington and how I'm like in New Mexico. So then when we finally got to the interviews, it felt like I was just talking to a friend. It didn't feel like I was being interviewed. So that's one tip I would say. Just be yourself. Try to have regular conversations, not try to be so nervous. Again, this can be different for different people, but that would kind of like make you feel more comfortable and not feel like make you nervous or whatever. So a lot of questions I get sometimes is, how did I get into HR? For one, I did not graduate from college. I do not have a college degree in anything to do with anything, right? Because I did not graduate. So it is very possible to get into HR without having a degree. A lot of times you do have to be at the right place at the right time, but I always tell people to don't sell themselves short. A lot of times people, they're used to what they're used to, so they don't go for the next job. When I started with HR, I didn't have any HR experience. How I started was, I worked at this civil engineering company. I was their admin assistant. I started off as an admin assistant, and then at one of my, every year we do like, a review, right? You do your review, see what goals you reach and things like that. So this was before my yearly review. We were just going over goals that I was going to accomplish, and this was actually like my 90-day check-in or something, and we were just talking about like goals that I want to reach by my 1 year. And then my supervisor had asked me like, what are your like career goals? Where do you see yourself at next? What would you like to do in the company? And somehow we started talking about recruiting, and I was really interested in recruiting because as admin assistant, I did a lot of calling people, like to schedule interviews, and I, when people came in for orientations, I like did the tours, and I was very interested in that. And then my boss was like, oh, and then she just started giving me more like recruiting tasks, more onboarding tasks. And then at my 1 year review, she made me her people operations coordinator. And from the people operations coordinator, I of course started doing more, I started doing the orientation for onboarding. I started doing all of the onboarding. I started doing all of the pre-screening. I did all of the EEOs, or the equal opportunity affirmative action plans. I just started doing all those things, and then that's how I just started gaining my experience in people operations. But at my 1 year review, I got promoted to people operations coordinator, which is an HR coordinator. And then when I moved here to New Mexico, a lot of time people be like, oh, I don't have any experience in this, and I don't have any experience in this. It's okay not to have experience. When you're doing your resume, like I said, I had just started in HR. I didn't have a degree. My supervisor just took a chance on me, making me her people operations coordinator. And then, so when I came here, I was like, I'm going to go to the next step. I'm not going to stay at the people operation coordinator. I'm going to go to the next step. So when I started doing my resume, you know, just start putting stuff on there like, oh, I coordinated this. I managed this program. I did this. You want to kind of stay away from saying you assisted. Because it's not, what did you assist with? Did you just grab the paper off the printer? Like, what did you assist with? So try to stay away from that. Say, most people are looking for the words, you managed this, you coordinated this, you did this. They want to see that. So I just started doing that, and I just started applying for jobs a step up. And guess what? I end up falling into human resource manager. Okay, so a staff performance manager. I didn't have any experience as a manager, as a staff performance manager, but I just knew that I could do it. I knew that I'm going to apply myself. I know at my last job, I managed these programs. I didn't assist. I actually was the one that did all of this, you know? So I put that on there. I did that. And then it happened, you know? So I always just say, just make sure sharpen your resume up and put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to stay where you are at, even if you never did anything, you know? I was even, you know, if you never did it, but if you did stuff, there's a lot of times you do jobs that you necessarily didn't do in people operations. But say you work in retail, or you were a retail manager, or you were a shift supervisor, like start tailoring your resume into more of the HR side. Did you have to resolve conflicts? Did you have to do investigations? Like, did you have to do accounting? A lot of times, especially if you are an admin assistant. When I was an admin assistant, I assisted with people operation and also assisted with the accounting. So I did all of the credit cards reconciliations. I did all of the payments and stuff like that. So you can put that in there as a accountant payable, because you pay the bills, you pay these things. So even if you never was an accountant payable, but if you were just the admin assistant, but if you were the one that was in charge of paying the invoices, hey, you coordinated all invoices, you coordinated this, you did this. So just apply yourself, just tailor your resume for whatever job you're trying to get. So that is a tip. So I talked about how to get into HR, tips on how to interview. Also, I just want to talk about some interview questions. I'm not telling you guys to rehearse all of your questions, but there are a lot of places where when you start interviewing, a lot of questions will be repetitive. You would notice that at 5 interviews, 60% of the questions are the same. So you just want to kind of be prepared. Like me, I do not practice, I do not rehearse, but I have had experience interviewing people, so I know the same questions that I ask people, so I kind of like in my head know kind of what type of questions are coming up. So just be prepared. There are 3 questions that I got asked at every single interview that I did. And during this process of me not having a job, during that, 45 days, I went on about 8 or 9 interviews. 4 of those interviews were just like the second interview, but there were like 5 new place, like different jobs interviews that I did. So the 3 questions that I got asked at every single one of those jobs was, tell me about yourself. That is the number 1 question that most interviewers going to ask you. You do not have to repeat your resume word from word. We don't want to do that, because that's not giving personality. That's not giving. They have your resume. They know what you did. So what I do is I just briefly go over my resume, but I give them different details from my resume. So if I did affirmative action, I'm gonna go into, well, I started here, this is what I did there. And you want to talk about like the projects that you actually worked on. You don't want to say, oh, I coordinated company's events. You want to talk about, oh, what I did was, yeah, this is what I did here, this is what I did here. But when I worked at this company, of course, in 2020, you know, we did, COVID hit us, and I was very involved in employee engagement. That was one of my biggest roles in my last job. So with employee engagements during COVID, we had to come out with new ways of whatever. So I would go into like what I actually did. Like I had to be creative with the Christmas party. We couldn't be around each other, so we came up with doing the zoo lights. We just gave all the employees tickets for their families, so we got to be together, but we wasn't in a room together because everybody would just go at their own pace through the zoo. So you just want to kind of give details. And then after that, after I left that place, I went here and I did this. You can give a little history, where you're from, but you can give a little personality. You want to try to switch it up, mix it up. You can put a little bit of your personality in that question. You can give a little tips of like where you're from if you're not from the state that you're at. You can tell them the last 3 jobs that you had. But you don't want to just read off your resume in your head. You know, you don't want to do that because they have your resume. You want to give them a little bit extra when they ask you to tell them about yourself. You can even go into what you like to do outside of work, you know. The second question that I got asked at every single interview is, what are your strengths? What are your 3 strengths? And as soon as they ask you that, just always in the back of your head say they're gonna ask me, what are my weaknesses? Okay, so that was the question. They always ask, what are my strengths? And then after they ask that, they always say, what are your weaknesses? When they ask you what are your weaknesses, you want to pick weaknesses that you are aware of. You want to pick weaknesses on how where you know how to overcome those weaknesses, right? So one of my weaknesses has always been my nonchalant attitude. I'm not gonna say nonchalant, but I say, you know, it could be a weakness and I bring it into a strength. It could be a weakness and a strength because I say, well, I'm not technically really nonchalant, but I do have it takes a lot to get me upset. It takes a lot for me to move. So that's why it's my weakness, but it also could be my strength because of that, I don't get overwhelmed under pressure. I work well under pressure. You know, a lot of times people can be running around with their head cut off, and I'm very calm because it's not that much that like stress me out to that point, you know. So this is just briefly, I go into way better details and explain it way better than I am now, but that's kind of, you always want to tell them your weakness, but show them how you turn it into a positive, or show them how you are working on fixing that. Oh, my weakness is this, but now that I know that, I do this to make sure I don't make those type of mistakes, or blah blah blah. So the third question that I got asked at every job, of course, this question, the other 2 questions are pretty universal. This question, it can kind of be universal, but it also has a lot to do with HR too, because we deal with a lot of conflict. So the third question was, how do you handle conflict? Those were the 3 questions that I got asked at every single interview. So you want to just, you know, you don't want to feel like when you answer how you deal with conflict, you want to be honest, but you also want to put, you know, like the STAR method. You want to give an example of when you had to deal with conflict and what you did to handle that situation. And you want to make sure it's a positive situation, a positive outcome. You don't want to say I ended up fighting that person, right? You want to show how you turned that conflict around and made it a positive situation or a positive environment, things like that. But anyways, I am going to end this video now. I feel like I've been rambling so long. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Sunday monthly reset. Again, if you did, please give it a thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.